He mentioned we are 35th now in recruiting. Where do you think we finished? Top 10 question mark. What about 2023? So, little couple part question here. And we've mentioned where we've been and where we're moving to. We were a little bit higher than this. We've been making moves each week with the moves we've been making. Do we finish top 10? I don't know. I think those schools in front of us have a pretty good base that's going to keep them locked in there. Top 20, I can see if we start making these moves and start getting more of these guys to sign. We had some huge official visits. We talked about that in a recent video. Check that out, where we had some big visits this weekend where one kid, even Miguel Mitchell, where he even signed. But there was 3 4-stars and a 4-star that came down. So I think those guys are going to be a factor on where we finish this year. 2023 is huge. We've had some huge commits already. Again, they're all verbal. One of them is going to IMG, the high school down in Tampa. He's a running back. He's verbally committed. So we're already working on 2023, which is really good. Again, that could be another part of, hey, what he's doing more than what Dan Mullen did. Wasn't much talk about a few years in advance. Dan was always kind of focused on what's in front of him.
Actually, Dan wasn't very focused on what was in front of him when he was there. Let's call it what it is. And I'm saying this as an FSU fan watching Florida go through what you did. Dan didn't like recruiting, and we all knew that when Dan was coming in. But with Billy coming in, Billy has always had that knack for just staying ahead of the game when it comes to recruiting. That's how he did so well at his last school. He was able to stay ahead of the game. He was recruiting 2 years ahead. Look, right now, with the way that Florida is recruiting on the instant gratification of Billy, they've already started to lay the groundwork on just some of these kids that are already talking about Florida. Keep in mind, Florida barely made it to a bowl game, and they didn't play well in that game. So the fact that they're already getting some instant traction from the hire now on kids in 2023, I think Billy keeps the momentum going. We're going to see how that goes once cleats are in the ground, come September. But a couple of good games, a good couple of games with momentum, maybe a win over a Tennessee in those first 3-4 games of the season. There is no reason to think that Florida doesn't really bounce back from what has been a suppressed recruiting effort back in 2023, and to see themselves back in the top 10. They definitely have some spots. They've done great with the transfers, but I think they can really get the new talent from 2023 in-house, and just they have great momentum right now.
Absolutely. And another question from Jeffrey here. Can Napier bring us back to the urban years minus the arrest? Look, it's exciting. We're in the honeymoon stage. We all want to say yes. I think minus the arrest is a definite yes. Look, that was a different breed, man. That was something that I think will forever be
wild
unmatched.
In Gainesville for him.
That's something that, look, it's funny to talk about now, and as a Gator fan, you're kind of like, what's up, baby? Like, we had a little swagger back in our day, bro. We had the complete one side of the holy grail, and then we had a complete murderess on the other side. So I think yes, I think we can get pretty close to that matter of we can get to that top tier where we are winning not back to back, but every other year championships. I definitely see a championship in the near future with Billy. I think he has what it takes to get there from what I've seen. Again, it's really early, so it's easy for us to be all in on this kind of stuff. I'm going to be very optimistic. And he mentioned a quote where he says, listen, vision without action is just a dream. And right now we're seeing a lot of action, and it's exciting to see. So
look, and I love all the Florida fans. They're excited. They're ready to go. It's what happens anytime you're a fan of an organization, whether it's the Jaguars, whether it's the Gators, Florida State, Miami. We've got a lot of coach movement. You get this burst of excitement, and then you have that holded breath of, does it translate? Does it translate? I think Billy's doing a good job. I think that there still needs to be, if I'm a Florida fan, that held breath of, does this perpetual motion that we're seeing now continue when it's action time?
Sure.
I think he's done a great job with the small school. I think he can keep it going. I like his staff, but again, we're talking about they just put the cleats on.
Yep.
I would, if I'm a Florida fan, I still watch hard.